Hey everybody! Welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We're doing okay here. Really nothing to complain about whatsoever. We don't have any Maggie business done yet. Let's do some Maggie business. Maggie, she's an interesting character when you get a new save file, because she doesn't always start AYNR, LDTC. She doesn't always start with that speed upgrade pill. I still think it's like the weirdest buff to give a character. Is like, yeah, her speed's too bad, but if you beat a challenge, she'll always start with a speed upgrade pill. It's like they got real commitment to Maggie's 0.85 speed to begin with. But you know what? Here we are. I won't belabor the point. Maggie's okay. I think Maggie's underrated. And I think I might have been part and parcel with that. Look, speed's important. It sounds like it's doing the meme, you know? Yeah, sex is great, but if you ever save 15% on your car insurance, that's pretty much where we're headed with that one. Now, I love Twitter. I'm just saying, do I really love Twitter? I think I still love Twitter. I go through fits and spurts, but for the most part, I used to have a routine. I would wake up, check the news, check Twitter. Those are like my steps. Then I was like, wait a minute, Twitter's the news. I don't have to do any real research if I just go to Twitter, see what people are mad about, and then figure it out for myself. So that saved me a step. But I've gone off of that. I've tweeted, if you were to do like a graph of my tweets from like 2015 till now, I think you would see that we're in like a low, for sure. And I think life is better that way. So why am I doing this? I don't know, because I have the ability to do this, I guess. So I don't really want to fight an angel statue, but maybe we'll see if we have the opportunity to do so. We didn't have angel statues unlocked on our last episode, so I have no idea what'll happen there. But, you know, you get a lot of HP, why not try to turn it into something even better? The reason I've started tweeting less, I'll explain to you, okay? So, one is, and I don't mean this to sound negative, not every tweet is like, look at how funny I am, but I kind of stopped, like, caring about that perception as much. So that's part of it. I mostly just, whenever I tweet something, it's either an auto tweet of a video or it's a picture of my cats. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And there was a time, probably, where I wouldn't have minded having like a viral tweet. And then I realized, why would you ever want a viral tweet? Like, I look in the mentions of viral tweets, and every single one of them is just like, it seems laborious. Let's put it that way. It seems like, it's a little tedious to have a viral tweet, because if you're like, you know, y'all really out here claiming you don't eat butt? It's 2018. And then it's a joke, and it gets 70,000 retweets, but then you get 3,000 people in your mentions going like, well, I did it one time, and then I got a staph infection. And you're like, dude, it's humor. You don't have to interface with the person who said the joke after every joke, you know, it's more of like a consume and then move on sort of thing. So I think I really thought I could dodge that one. I think I'm kind of over it. Dude, how tall are these spikes? Be real with me. Those seem like some tall spikes. I think we're just gonna leave after this. The key piece wasn't really worth much, but it gave us something to talk about. Even though we didn't talk about it at all. It's kind of, I think it's gradually Facebooking itself. And I think, you know, we used to, and I have friends that are still guilty of this. They think the internet is still in like 2008. And they'll be like, well, remember, MySpace was big for 6 months, and then Facebook came along and destroyed it. What's going to be the next Facebook? And for a while, I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Something's going to usurp Facebook. But what I think we've entered the world of now, the new paradigm, is like once people are sick of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, that's just going to be like the end of social media. People will be like, you know, oh, I deleted my Twitter. Oh, cool, what are you on now? Oh, nothing. I just sort of am online. I'm not on a platform anymore. I'm just enjoying, you know, relative isolation. And it sounds nice for the most part, until you have a real banging lunch that you made. And then you're like, who do I show it to, you know? It's a double-edged sword is all I'm trying to say. I see you, Orange Fire. I see you trying to get fresh. But yeah, I still, you know, there'll be people. I think that it's different for streaming. Because, you know, there's still, the streaming wars are still kind of going on. You know, there's Twitch, YouTube Live, Mixer, Caffeine, lots of live streaming platforms. And sometimes people are like, oh, I wish someone would just make a better YouTube. I'm like, it can't happen. This is it. YouTube, you basically could not be worse than YouTube has been, at least from a PR standpoint, over the course of like the last 3 years. If it was gonna be done, it would have been done by now. It's my firm and true opinion of it. It's like, you know, being on and this is why I think it's silly sometimes, but you know, nobody ever gets on like a train and then the train gets delayed and they go, when is someone gonna build a better train, you know? Except Elon Musk, but we don't talk about him too much anymore. People are just like, yeah, you know how trains are. If you wanted to go fast, you would fly. Now, should I be doing this? Yes, but it's definitely a debatable yes. I'll give you that. Full health, please. I kind of want to IV back into the curse room, but we'll slow our roll there a little bit. You know, it's just YouTube is what it is. If you say frig, sometimes you're going to be demonetized. Sometimes someone's going to manually review your video and be like, I told you we'd get Sister Maggie. I told you. Sometimes someone's going to watch your video and be like, there is real serious injury in this video. And I'm like, the only injury is when I facepalm from making a mistake. But it's the best we got, okay? So we're making the most of it. No, we're fine. Because we can go to the shop, we're fine. But briefly, I was very afraid. Wheel of Fortune. Please let me donate more money to your cause. Thank you. A blue map has appeared in the basement. I want more options on the shop, though, as soon as possible. Because our existing shops are not doing it for us. Store upgrade level 1. Thank you. Didn't work. I mean, I shouldn't have expected it, but I was like, maybe if we leave and re-enter, it will have more options. Not that we have the money for it right now anyway. Anyway, I'm not saying you shouldn't endeavor to build something that's better, but it's always like, hey, my buddy knows how to program, we're making a new YouTube, and I'm like, that is insane. If it works, that's cool, but that's like a very, you know, 2004 tech story. I don't think that happens anymore. Not too often, at least. It's always like guys that have a net worth of like $7 billion are like, we think sandwiches are too inconvenient. We invented a portable sandwich. It's called a sandwich. And then you're like, well, that's never going to make any money. And they're like, we've got $173 million in Series A funding. And you're like, really? And we're out of business. See you next time. Always surprised me, like, I don't know how tech works, you know? It's like a different world. The tech industry, I mean. And if I wanted, the best example I can think of to explain why I don't understand it is a fellow by the name of John Riccitelli. And I'm not assuming... I was like, wait a minute, is that... John Riccitello? Wait, is that it? John Riccitello. Yeah, John Riccitello. Sorry, not Riccitelli. That's obviously Austin. Or, sorry, Robert. Wait a minute, I'm getting two people confused here. Who's the... Give me 1 second here. Who's the new Zynga CEO? Founders. No. Key people? You know, I think I'm just out of... I've had two people stuck in my head for a while now that did this, that were not actually part of it. Disregard. Basically, what I thought had happened was, John Riccitello got fired as the CEO of EA, maybe like 6 years ago. And then he got hired to be the CEO of Zynga. And over the course of all this time, he has like made a staggering amount of money in salary, while Zynga has basically become, you know, I don't want to say like it's worth nothing now, but I mean its net worth has fallen drastically. That's what I don't understand about tech. If that story were true, which I don't believe that it is. I'm in fairness, I believe I have two people confused. Anyway, so that was basically a meaningless anecdote. John Riccitello is now the CEO of, whoops, Yumhart, please. Is now the CEO of Unity Technologies. My mistake. Who's the CEO of Zynga? I don't know who Mark Pincus is. I just don't know how you can be the CEO of a failing product and make a bunch of money doing it. Like, that's where my business knowledge doesn't make sense. Where you're like, the company lost, $100 million last year. And you're like, what's the CEO's salary? $4 million. I get that you still, like, you know, you get paid even when your company is suffering. But it kind of seems like you're the figurehead, right? Like, I guess I don't understand accounting. Because in the end, it just comes down to, like, how can you make money when you're losing money? It doesn't make any sense. It's all just money. But I guess it's checks and credits and debits and balances and et ceteras, and I don't know what's going on. So I'm struggling to come up with commentary here because I'm slowly getting more and more aggravated that we're stuck at 0.85 speed. But, you know, the run's looking good HP-wise here, obviously. We got Dark Bomb helping us out a great deal. We did get to donate a bunch of money to the shop, which is nice. Little light on consumables, little light on DPS, but we've had Eden runs, you know, in the recent history that are, you know, definitely in the same vein of badness as this one right now. So, did you see? How did that come out of that? This is the miracle of life right there. I have a question out there for all you, okay? Kate brings this up now and then, and I'm lucky that modern science is not there. There's a right way to answer this question in the present day, and then there's a right way to answer the question if this technology ever comes out. What if the technology existed to allow the woman to transfer her pregnancy to the man for a heterosexual couple that's having a child? So, you know, your wife gets pregnant, and then you guys have a conversation that's like, all right, well, who gets the responsibility of having the baby? Like, imagine you've got the embryo, and it's viable, and then they're like, we're just going to implant it into somebody's, you know, we have like an artificial womb that we can give you and to grow it. Who gets... I mean, is it who wants it or who's stuck with it? Because I know Kate is like, well, I would give it up in a heartbeat. And I'm like, you know, sometimes when we have the conversation, I'm like, well, it's a solemn duty, but I do it. But really the only reason I'm saying that is because the technology does not exist yet. If the technology existed, we'd be having a much longer conversation about, you know, I don't know, rock, paper, scissors, or drawing straws or something like that. Because I don't know, maybe there's value in being pregnancy. I try not to look at stuff like that in like super selfish ways. That's like, well, I can't party if I'm pregnant. You know, I get that it's kind of a unique human experience to be able to be pregnant. But if I ever have like even the slightest bit of jealousy that I can't experience the miracle of a human pregnancy, I always, you know, just remember that most of the stuff involved with it seems highly uncomfortable. So I'm kind of like, you know, I'm okay to live without that experience. But if the technology ever became present, dude, that would be a lot of uncomfortable conversations had in households around the globe. I don't know how you deal with that. It's a tough conversation to have. Well, because I'm trying to think, like, what's the argument? The argument is, well, you know, it's the way it's always been, so, you know, it's the way it still should be. And I'd be like, I don't know. You know, it sounds like a little bit like, it's like a hardline traditionalist discussion, right? Was it the other argument, I guess, the only thing I can think of is, we gotta have two, and then we'll trade. And I'd be happy to go first. As long as, I have written confirmation that you'll go second. I'm happy to go first. That's fair. That's the kind of fairness that exists that I can get down with 100%. Is if we're both suffering equally, I think it's okay. Maybe there's a reason that not a whole lot of modern science is working on this. They're like, okay, next project. Make it so men can become pregnant. And all the male scientists are like, I'm gonna go work on the boner pills. If you don't mind. I've just gotten the very fabulous offer from Pfizer. Sorry, couldn't turn it down. And the funding is dried up. Okay. I'm not trying to get into prickly discussions here. It's just these are the kind of things, you know, 4,000 episodes of a single video game. Now you got 0.85 speed on this one. They start to cross your mind because you know, got nothing better to do while you're waiting for the world to give you either a speed or DPS upgrade of some sort. Like, even that was a little spooky there. Don't do it, I almost had you. I guess there could be a trade, you know? Like, what if my wife is like, you have to be the one to carry the pregnancy. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I would ask for in negotiation. Because there are like, we have a division of labor when it comes to chores in our household. There's some things we split. We basically split the laundry. We basically split the dishes. Kate does the vacuuming. She does like she cleans the bathroom and stuff like that. We split the cooking. Usually she cleans the cat's litter box. I do the dishes. I take down the garbage, recycling, organics, etc., etc. I'm trying to think of what I would have to ask for in some kind of like business negotiation. And I know you're like, he thinks it's gonna be a business negotiation. I know, but humor me. Allow me this moment of perceived strength, okay? Thank you for the keys, by the way. I mean, it's probably not worth the trade. 9 months of pregnancy for never having to take the garbage down again for the rest of my life? I don't think so. I mean, sometimes they ask these kind of questions on the NLSS. You know, I want out, please. It worked. They'll be like, would you rather spend a year pooping to get it all out of the way and then you never have to poop again? Or would you rather keep it as it is right now and poop for like 5 minutes a day every day? I think I would rather poop for 5 minutes a day every day. Even if it adds... Oh, I didn't even see the tinted rock in there. Even if it would add up to the same amount of time, I think I'd rather poop 5 minutes a day every day. I mean, like, that year would be really bad, or boring at least. And I think you wouldn't even notice... Like, you would take it for granted so soon. You would have no street cred whatsoever in that situation. If people were like, hey, I know what you're talking about, I just gotta go to the bathroom. Well, how many times are you gonna be like, oh yes, the bathroom. I remember, that's something that you guys do. I invested a year of my young life into making, that's not a smart decision. That's not gonna work out for you. You would take it for granted. I think. Most of those gambles end up in that situation. I would definitely rather do like a little tiny chore semi-regularly than have to do like a year of mind-numbing tasks to never have to do it again. Like, would you rather spend 26 hours trimming your toenails and then never have to do it again for the rest of the year? No, are you crazy? That sounds like... It's like the worst day of any human being's year by far. What was this weekend for you? I had 2 13-hour shifts down at the toenail factory to save me 2 minutes a week. By the way, the numbers do not add up at all. Of course, I'm trying to think, if you spend... How long do you spend on fingernail maintenance a week? Probably differs depending on what you're into. I'm like a 2-minute a week sort of guy. Usually like, I look down at my hands. And then I go, do these need a trim? If they need a trim, 2 minutes. And the toes are like, am I cutting a hole through my sock? Did I scratch my wife when I rolled over accidentally? Like, that's where I do toenail maintenance. So it's very limited amount of time. So that's like less than 2 hours a year, probably. Would I do 2 hours to never have to do it again? Assuming I could be watching a movie simultaneously, maybe I would for, a year off from nail maintenance. I'll tell you one thing. I would spend like a day shaving my head to never have to shave my head again. So I guess it depends on the task. But the catch is that there's a little metagame associated with it. With the fingernails and with the hair, it's that you never have to go through like the period of adjustment. You never have to deal with it growing and looking worse. You get the idea. I would go like... If there was a way that was convenient and not painful to be, like, really bald, and I know, like, I'm bald, but I'm not bald. I'm still growing hair. Trust me. By the way, if we had better speed, we're not taking damage there, but we're a little stuck. I would, much rather have that be the case than have to go through... I mean, it's not like a major chore, but shaving your head for, like, 10 minutes once a week. I'm not... Anytime you complain about anything on the internet, there's always somebody who goes, oh, poor baby, 15 minutes a week. It's not like that. I'm just giving you the honest appraisal of, like, my thoughts on the chore. Make me for real bald. I'd be okay with it. I would pay you. I'm just not going to laser treatment where they're going to blast my head with a freaking highly concentrated beam of light, and then there's a recovery period. If you wear a hat, you go, ah, because it hurts so bad, and et cetera, et cetera. You get the idea. It's a lot of verbal diarrhea for a run with no real strength whatsoever. Usually we have to focus a little bit more on the run. Meg on the run. Meg on the run. I was trying to think of like... I only know like 6 other lyrics in that song. The Sailor Man and Tailor Sam were searching everyone for the Meg on the run. So again, I've put myself within 1 hit of death for reasons, I suppose. And then there's a rainbow poop, and we're immediately validated. The reason I'm going to great lengths on these blood banks is because, I mean, I'm not sure if you've noticed, speed is still insanely bad. We'll go back for that. I had that happen, like, in Sunday's stream. It was a subscriber. Oh, blood bag was not unlocked, so that explains a lot. On Sunday's subscriber stream, people were like, well, someone was like, hey, now, why don't you go to Friday Night Magic anymore? And I was like, well, there's 2 reasons. One is, most of the people at Friday Night Magic were cool, but a couple people were really annoying. Straight up. And particularly, I don't mind it that much, but they would be really crappy to my wife when she beat them. They'd like, oh, and if anyone who's been to Friday Night Magic has probably had experiences similar to this, where they like beat a nerd, and the nerd gets salty, and they go, yeah, well, she won, but she was just using a net deck, so like, well, I could have won if she didn't even have this in her deck. She just top decked the card she needed. You know, you see it all the time, unfortunately, but you know, but that was like one reason. The other reason is that it's Friday night at 6 p.m. We live in a major city. So the magic shop was like a 15-minute drive away, but in rush hour traffic, it ended up becoming like a 45 to 60-minute drive away. And not a nice drive, you know, and sometimes it was even longer than that. And someone in chat was like, oh, poor baby has to drive 45 minutes. And I was like, it's a hobby. It's not like, I'm not complaining, I gotta commute to my jobby wobby. It's more like, you know, magic is like something you do if you enjoy it. If you're just, gotta haul myself out of the house today so I can play Magic the Gathering, maybe it's time to, you know, move on to a different hobby. I took offense to that one because I just thought it was insane. Oh my god. Please. I only have so many anecdotes. No! I don't want to fight Mega Fatty. This is Caves 2. Okay, thank God. I thought it was Caves 1 temporarily, and I was like, oh, the Meg on the run. Meg on the run. Meg on the run. We may die, and we may want to before it happens. Oh, poor baby, it's got 3.5 damage. To go to my Friday Night Magic, I have to leave Thursday at 11:30. But I still do it because it's my duty to Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. It's a shame because, like, the magic shop that we played Friday Night Magic at, I would go. But the thing is, I would much rather it was, like, Wednesday afternoon Magic than Friday night. It's not really fair for the majority of other people who work normal jobs with normal hours. But if they were like, hey, Friday Night Magic is, it's on Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. now, I'd be like, oh, cool. I'll do a little magic before work. Get anecdoted up. Well, let's go back to our item room. It's a very fun run so far. I'm very happy for the damage, by the way, but... oh, let me caffeinate, dude. This is 22 minutes already. Absurd. I got this picture of John Riccitello up in the background on Wikipedia as well. It's freaking me out. He looks like Pro Jared's dad. Poison tears. Those tears are poison. I'm reading all about John Riccitello now. Oh. He's overseen 2 fundraising rounds, a $181 million Series C round led by DFJ Growth in July 2016, and a $400 million Series D round led by Silver Lake Partners. The Series D round was reportedly used for purchasing the shares of longtime employees and previous investors. That's cool. I've always wondered what happened to the shares of longtime employees and previous investors, and now I know they've been sold in a Series D funding round organized by Silver Lake Partners. That's really cool. Congratulations, guys. He went to the University of California, Berkeley. Grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania in the United States. Holds a Bachelor of Science. His occupation is CEO. Yes, I can only see a little bit of the Wikipedia page. I'm doing what I can with what I have. For the good of all of us except the... Remember that? The cake is a lie, my dudes. The narwhal bacons at midnight, my dudes. Let's go. Oh, I have a cat that would like to come in. Welcome to the show, Tomo. His name is Tomo and he scratches on the door. He isn't hungry, he just sleeping on the floor. And when he meows, you do not know what he meows for. My Tomo buddy scratching on the office door. Really could have used the meow there. You know, that's a... What about this? Tomomo, Tomo. Tomomo, Momo. His eyes are so wide. He's like, what is happening? You don't get to drink the coffee. Coffee is toxic to cats. I guess technically, coffee is one of those things that's toxic to humans. There is an LD50 for caffeine, the dose at which 50% of the population would pass away. But it's like several grams of pure caffeine, I think. His name is Ruka, and he's meowing at the... Don't jump on the computer, you son of a... He's on the desk with Tomo, I sang about him before. Would you like a second box to go to sleep? And give me company this crappy run to keep. Here, don't... You be nice with one another, okay? You're not brothers, and like, I'm sure the concept of like, you know, you two living in a group in the animal kingdom makes basically no sense. Like, Ruka, no offense, Tomo. But you're lucky we're here, because otherwise Ruka would definitely just take all your food. We basically exist as like a social safety net to make sure Tomo, you know, has a happy life. Oh my god, thank you for all the bombs. Hello, my two boys. How are you doing? I hope you're better than this run. Because this is like... extremely... I mean, borderline very not fun. But we're gonna tough it out, because like one deal with the devil could bust this whole thing wide open. Oh man, now I got so much cat fur in my nose. I don't have any more parodies for the moment, okay? But I was pretty pleased with the way that those two went down earlier. Get out of here, Pro Jared's dad. Freaking me out. He's looking at... the picture is of him at a podium. And I don't know why, but all I picture him saying is like, I can't see what the slide says. By the way, this is hilarious. Double mega fatty. Really cool. Cool boss, Edmund. Cool boss. All I picture is John Riccitello being like, and that's how hard we screwed your mom. And I don't know why, because I have no reason to assume that he's, you know, a jerk like that. But in my head, that's what he's saying at this presentation from 2011. It's him being like, here's our 7-step plan to have intercourse with your mother. And you know what, John? I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate you giving a presentation to game developers about how to seduce my mother, okay? It's a little bit uncouth. This is fastest train wreck we've ever had on a save file, without a doubt. I'm very concerned that we just won't get the 72% deal with the devil chance here, because if we don't, this run may be mired in mediocrity for the rest of its natural existence, which won't be too much longer. Now, we shouldn't keep trading spaces here. But now I don't remember which one's which. So I guess we're just going to kill them all at equal speed. Yep. Oh my god, we killed one. Please, God, no shots, no shots. 72.5% chance of a deal with the devil. Spare me. No poops, no poops. Holy crap. Okay. It's not Krampus. We have to go hard on this one for sure. Amnesia, it matters, but it doesn't matter that much. So we can fly. Our damage is mildly better. Found our item room. Probably should go to the shop as well, but I'm mad, so I might skip it now that I have no map. Oh, holy mantle. But dare I suggest, at the risk of seeming ungrateful, this is still a... Oh, there's our shop, thankfully. This is still a train wreck run. It's just a train wreck run with some remarkable defense. But we only have to go to Mom's Heart, so we got a decent chance of making it out of this. Probably be like 36 minutes by the time we make it out of the mom fight, but you know, it's an honor just to be selected for the chance to live here. Oh, dude, I got an air conditioning problem. And I know I'm not like trying to complain. It's a first world problem. If I open my door, well, let me put it this way: I can't open my door. Because my audio will bleed into my wife's audio. She's streaming right now. That'd be very discourteous if she did the same thing to me. I would be mildly annoyed. I would bring it up and be like, hey, can you close the door, please? But that means that the room gets hot. But if I turn on the air, it gets cold in here, or cooler in here, but the rest of the apartment gets freaking freezing. And you're like, why is it so cold in there versus, or why is it so hot in there relative to the rest of the apartment? Well, it's very tiny. And I have, you know, my body heat, the computer. Oh, thank God. And now I got 2 cats in here. I don't know how many, you know, kilojoules of heat a cat, you know, releases ambiently, but it's more than 0, I assume. Nobody's ever like, oh, your room's too hot? Put some cats in it. That'll cool it down. Doesn't make any sense. Probably. So I got a deal. Do I want like a boiled brain? Or do I want to deal with like 6 hours of the entire house feeling like a refrigerator after this? I understand it's not really like a major problem. We're at 30 minutes here. I don't have a whole heck of a lot to talk about. I've already exhausted like 5 videos worth of commentary, okay? Wow, we almost got screwed there. I'm trying my best, but I'm not really being given that much to work with. You know what I admire about cats? And it makes me, it opens up another question I have about human beings as well. As an alien, I'm very eager to hear a real human respond to this. When cats throw up, it's just another day at the office for them. You know, they'll be like playing and purring, and then they'll go and they'll throw up. And then they're weird for like 20 seconds, and then they're like, yeah, I'm normal, I'm washing up now, no big deal. Ah, that's a funny joke. Kind of want to take it, honestly, so we can get more deals with the devil, but kind of don't want to take it because we've been dealing with incredibly low speed for the entire game so far. Even if it's 1.15 right now, we'll go down to 0.75, I think, if we take lard. Even if it's 0.95, I don't really want to do it, and I'm pretty sure it's worse than 0.95. You know what? I'll buy the jar, just so I never have to see it again. The toaster, we'll buy at a later date. Pokemon's is a passive upgrade, so I'm okay trying that to give us some kind of improvement. I don't really care about the Spirit Heart that much, believe it or not. The card could be worth something, but it's a little dicey. You know, sure, I'll try Compost out. I'll try to make Compost work. No promises. My experience with human beings is that when human beings throw up, they're messed up for like an hour. I don't know if you'll agree or disagree with that. You know, you get like a half-hour period before where you're like, oh, I'm a little nauseous. I don't know if I need to throw up. And then you get a, you know, the period just before you throw up is the worst you can feel as a human being, I firmly believe. When you get all like hot and sweaty and like when you swallow, it kind of, you feel it like hitting something at the top of your throat. Like just describing that feeling is probably making some people nauseous. It's the sweatiness that gets me when you're like, all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I'm like really hot. It's like the telltale sign. I'm guaranteed to vomit. Hey, Ruka, what are you doing? You gonna be in the box or you gonna go down? He's going down. Goodbye, my son. His name is Tomo, he's the only kitty left. He likes to take a solitary nap on desks. When he's the only pet, he gets a lot of pets. Oh, Tomo, Tomo, snoozing on my sitting desk. Anyway, it's a long one. Let me have my parodies, okay? I use this because I thought the Hangman might give you like a 0.1 speed upgrade for the room. That's how desperate we are. What was I saying? I wish I could be like a cat. I mean, I don't throw up enough for it to be like meaningful. Basically, that's been the experience since college. Is like, you know, as a kid, threw up a little. Teenager, never threw up. It had been years between vomit sessions. College, threw up a couple times. A couple times more than I should have, for sure. After college, you can count it on, you know, in years again. The other day, I actually, and the reason I brought it up is because I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel for anecdotes, but I had, like, not sick nausea for the first time in, like, a decade, maybe 2 weeks ago, where I just ate, and then immediately my stomach was like, I don't really like that. What's going on with that? And my body was like, you have the choice. Do you want to throw up? And I was like, no, body. Are you crazy? I just ate Chinese food. I don't want to throw that up. Those are valuable nutrients. So, you guys are gonna hate this, but I think it's the right play, okay? We only have to go to Mom's heart. So here's what you do. Sorry, Womb 1. We've unlocked Samson by not taking damage for 2 floors. That's hilarious. This run is horrible, and I am very eager to see it purged, which is why... Oh, stop that. Which is why I am, ooh, thank you, getting ready, gearing up for this Mom's Heart fight. Skip the entire Womb 1, not to finish the run as quickly as possible, but to save myself. And now, of course, it's like, hey, what are you complaining about? Speed up and tears up, that's amazing. It's also better than, like, any item I got for the first 4 floors. You gotta look at the derivative, you know, the speed, the rate at which our rate of fire is changing, the rate at which our run skill is changing. Mr. Mega, still getting tons of unlocks, that's fair. Appreciated. Means we can do a Samson run next time, too. I guess we could go to Chore. You know what? Let's try to make Chore happen. Now, this is insane because we're skipping the Mom's Heart boss fight, which means we're not gonna fill out the post-it note, but... that's also kind of funny. Obviously, we're going to beat Mom's Heart with Maggie. Probably on about 98% of our Maggie runs going forward, so... By the way, this is not a decision I make for meme purposes. I really think, like, we probably have about 1 floor worth of HP in us. Please don't slow down. The HP in us is what I said. HP in us. Stop saying it. Google DeepMind is gonna... get a false positive, dude! Oh, by the way, I totally forgot we had Holy Mantle, so we probably could have done the other floors. Oh well. Now I know. For next time. 1 bomb doesn't kill these? That's insane. Anyway, I'm out of things to talk about, dude. I'm done. I don't even have, like, latent NLSS bits from today. Like, I did an NLSS today. We played, regular human basketball. I love that game. It's a cool game. Very mentally exhausting to play, though. Like, The amount of things you have to focus on, it makes it very hard to banter. Played some Tower Unite miniature games. Those were cool. Played some Scribble. Robert is such a fantastic artist. It's always a joy to play Scribbler with him. He'll draw some old Kirby's that have had all the life sucked out of them. How ironic is that? And that's basically it. I'm looking forward to the Tuesday show. Now, this is one I always am wary to talk about future plans and Isaac episodes that won't go live, because I never know, like, if it's gonna end up being ironic. Like, I feel like it gives an extra chance for something to be a disaster if I say I'm looking forward to it in a video. If I'm like, I can't wait till Tuesday's show, then the episode, this Isaac episode is going to go live, like, next Wednesday, and people are going to be like, how ironic. That was the stream where he had a heart attack and died. So I'm always trying to insulate myself from that kind of cosmic irony wherever possible. That being said, I am looking forward to tomorrow's show. There's a new survival DayZ style game called Scum that has come out. I watched a clip where a streamer was playing it and they pooped in a sink. Pretty much everything I've ever wanted out of a video game. I'm eager to see how that works. There's a new DAE programming game from the company that made World of Goo. That company's super weird to me, but in like a good way. They're called Tomorrow Corporation. They made World of Goo, which is one of the first big indie success stories. It was like one of the first 5 games that was like, hey, this isn't made by EA or 2K or Ubisoft, and like it's good, it's a lot of fun. I remember playing it on my friend's laptop in like my 3rd year of university. That was like 2008. Then, they made a game called Little Inferno, which was completely different. It was like a game with an environmental message and cool flame effects where you like burn things and then you get your fire gets better and you burn. It's kind of like an incremental game, to be honest. I wasn't really that into it. And then they made Human Resource Machine, and apparently like what they do now is they just make games that are like, you know, abstracted programming. One by one, all the companies become DAEs. Blendo, Zachtronics, Guardian Angel, not a developer, but unlocked. Ace of Clubs, oh, thank God. This run was terrible, but I hope it was entertaining. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.